Alright, TV's Noah here. I'm going to talk fast because I just found out that the next Gamefaqs tournament is starting tomorrow, if you're watching this on November 1st. Still plenty of time to get into it, so I'm going to try to set you up as quickly as possible so that you can win both the bracket and the battle competition. It's really nice of me, considering I came in 11th at last year's tournament, which was the best game of the OOs. 11th was just not good enough to win a prize. But I'm going to give you some tips, which I wrote on this envelope, and hopefully set you up on the path to success. We're going to start with talking about the brackets. When setting up your brackets, the few things that you got to keep in mind is you want to vote series over individual game. Okay? If something has a long line of games, they have a long line of fanboys. They're going to help the voting. So while you may think that a game that stands alone like Borderlands is better than, say, a Star Fox game, Star Fox has been around longer, there's more people who are fans, and there's probably more people who've played it. So even if they don't have an opinion, someone coming to the site will probably vote Star Fox over Borderlands just because they're familiar with it. And those fanboys, you got to remember who goes to Gamefaqs, right? Gamefaqs is mostly for RPG gamers because it's mostly people who are playing Zelda and Final Fantasy that need Gamefaqs to play the game. Not a lot of people really go there for Call of Duty, for Half-Life, and so on and so forth. The games that are difficult that seem to do well because those are the ones that are being played by the people who need Gamefaqs. Okay, so those are some things to consider. Franchises that always do well. Usually it's a race between Final Fantasy and Zelda. Those are usually the two. Any Nintendo franchises usually do well, though. There's a lot of Nintendo franchise fanboys that go to Gamefaqs. Mega Man always does surprisingly well, like always a little bit better than you think that they should. You also need to watch out for Resident Evil, which always like squeaks in there. Mortal Kombat, for some reason, also usually does well. So keep an eye on those. Be a little bit wary. They usually do better than expected. Another one is Metal Gear. Metal Gear does get a lot of respect in Gamefaqs. It's not as surprising because it's Metal Gear, but just keep those franchises in mind as strong contenders regardless of who's in the fight. That being said, here are my semifinalists. I'm not going to go through the whole bracket, I don't have time. So, what I have in the semifinals is we'll see Mario versus Bowser go head to head with Mega Man X versus Zero. And I would take Mario in that one. Then we're going to have Fox versus Wolf going against Titus and Ject. Final Fantasy X, really popular. It was the first Final Fantasy for PlayStation 2, so keep that in mind. It's very popular. Then we have Link versus Ganon. If you don't have that in the semifinals, you're crazy. Then I have Shell versus Gladys, which I kind of want to warn you against my own pick because I am blindly in love with Portal, so I might be swayed a little bit. But that's who I currently have. That one's kind of in a weak division, so I definitely think Shell and Gladys have a really strong chance. Portal 2 just came out. It's like a top contender for Game of the Year. It definitely is in the running here. And then lastly, I have Cloud and Sephiroth, which should be in your finals, going up against Sora and Riku. Final Fantasy fans also love Kingdom Hearts, but there's not a lot. There's also those Kingdom Hearts fans that don't like Final Fantasy. So Kingdom Hearts usually does well in these tournaments as well. In the end, I have my final four are Mario and Bowser, Tidus and Ject, Link and Ganon, Cloud and Sephiroth. Cloud and Sephiroth versus Link and Ganon is probably the biggest matchup. I have Link and Ganon going all the way and beating Mario and Bowser. I have a whole Nintendo finals. Nintendo's been around forever. Alright, so that's the brackets. I can't really help you much with the brackets because once you're done, you're locked in. It's the battle we got to pay attention to. Here are the first four battles for the battle brackets. Once again, your choices are to pick one, pick the other, or bank your points. If you don't bank your points, you're risking your points. So I'm going to tell you when to bank, what's risky. So let's take a look at this. I got 5 minutes, so here we go. First one is Mario and Bowser will beat Earthworm Jim and King Slug or Queen Slug for a Butt. That's going to be a blowout. That is pretty much as close to guaranteed as you can get. Mario's going to take this one. Sorry, Earthworm Jim. I love you to death, but not enough people do. Next, I have an upset. I think we're going to have Ike and Black Knight take out Conquer and the Great Pooh King. Honestly, I don't think there's enough Conquer fans out there. I mean, it's funny. It might get the giggle vote, but everyone knows Ike from Smash Brothers, and Conquer is only really known to the Xbox and the Nintendo 64 game, unless someone really loved him in Diddy Kong Racing, which I doubt. So I think it's going to be an upset. Next, we're going to have... this is a risky one. You might want to consider banking, but I'm not because we're only 2 deep, so it's not a lot of points to risk. Kirby and Meta Knight will take out Jill, Valentine, and Nemesis. Again, I'm worried because it's Resident Evil, and Resident Evil likes to sneak through. But Kirby, I think, is a strong enough franchise. Meta Knight is a strong enough franchise at this point because of Smash Brothers that it should be able to win. Show some caution, but I would still go with Kirby on this one. Next battle, we have Sonic and Dr. Robotnik will go over Catherine and Catherine. That's obvious. Catherine is really an underground game. It's cool, I'll give it that much, but like, there's no legacy, there's no, epic rivalry. It's just the one game so far. I don't think a lot of people has played it versus Sonic, so go with Sonic on that one. That's a guarantee. Next, Mega Man X and Zero will take out Captain Falcon and Black Shadow. Racing game rivalries? Not that big of a deal. It's not going to go over well, so don't stress about it. That one's going to go to Mega Man. Mega Man always does well. Next one, I'm going to bank on this one. This one, it's a lot of people don't know. It's a flip of a coin. I think it's going to be close. There's going to be a lot of uneducated people voting in it, and I'm talking about the Guybrush Threepwood versus LeChuck versus Bart's Kolskin and Gilgamesh. If you have to take it, I would go with the favorite on this one, just in the event that you somehow got the one behind it wrong and your banking would not help you. But really, you should be in a fine position here, and this would be a good place to bank and establish some points. After that, Donkey Kong and King K. Rool will beat Enzo and Rodrigo. It's a little bit risky because Assassin's Creed is really going up in the rankings, but it's nowhere near a Nintendo property at this point. I gotta go faster. This is a risky one, but I'm gonna say Sub-Zero and Scorpion will take out Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong. Again, it's those two mysterious franchises of Mortal Kombat versus Resident Evil. If you have points to bank, you might want to bank them here. Mortal Kombat seems more like the obvious choice, but there's a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth based off the last couple Mortal Kombat games. Just be careful. Trainer Red and Trainer Blue will easily take out Dreamraiser and Sarah. Don't even worry about it. It's Pokemon. Go for it. I'm going to bank on the Cecil Harvey Golbitz feud versus the Luigi Waluigi feud. It's such a terrible feud. The only feud that they have exists in Mario Party. So it's a Nintendo property, but it's the worst argument. And then we got a Final Fantasy property, but not the best known one anymore. So I'm banking there. Ryu and Ken will then beat Ratchet and Dr. Nefarious. No brainer. Fox and Wolf over Yuna and Seymour. I know it sounds weird because Fox is not the strongest Nintendo franchise, but trust me on this, Seymour is not as respected. I got time for 2 more. Samus and Riley will easily beat the Kid and the Guy. I just like that they include the Kid and the Guy. It's an honor to be nominated, but Samus is going to kick crap out of them. And finally, it's risky, but go with Terra and Kefka in the 14th battle. It's a Final Fantasy property. Kefka has his respect, but just be careful, consider banking, but I would go with the Final Fantasy all the way here. This has to be under 10 minutes, so I'm stopping. Thanks for watching.